Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading for October 19th through 25. We're going to open up the energy of the reading today with the groundhog spirit. Look at that. Time to let go. Yeah. Time to let go. The groundhog letting go of its shadow, perhaps. Let's see. We're going to use the dove and serpent spread. We're going to use the Rider-Waite. And we'll see how that groundhog spirit plays into the reading today. We have Temperance. We have the King of Wands. A Knight of Swords. A Knight of Pentacles. A lot of court cards. We have an Eight of Wands. So I feel like it's going to be a pretty fast-moving week for you, right? And a Page of Cups. Yeah, a lot of court cards here. I feel like there's going to be a lot of interactions with people, you know? Feels like a very busy time for messages, for networking. Maybe it's just like a social context, but it could be things going on at work. A lot of people vying for your attention. A lot of things in life that are going to need your attention. And maybe the groundhog is just kind of saying, okay, I got to learn how to let go of certain things so that, you know, you can divide your attention up into so many different areas. So it may be like the groundhog may be looking for ways to be more efficient. How do we go from one task to the next, to the next, to the next? Are we multitasking? Okay, or are we trying to knock things out kind of one by one, sequentially, you know? Well, let's keep going. We have a Six of Swords. So to me, that's like we got to have a plan, you know? We have to have a good, like a good system in place to where we can get things going, like efficiently. You know, and so it may be that these are your coworkers or something, and it's just this is going to be a very busy week. So it's about having a good system in place so that you can handle all of the increase of whatever it is, customers or something like that. And Queen of Wands, that's sort of you emerging as a leader here, and the Devil card. I feel like that is really the engine of the car right now. I feel that it's a very productive week. I feel like it's going to be very busy. There's going to be a lot to do. But if you stay focused and you stay locked in with that Devil card, climb up that mountain, you're going to get to the top. I think it's going to really be like a really big win for you. Okay? Very successful, very productive week, but very fast pace. So I'll try to hurry up. Okay? We're going to select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card. From the Smith-Waite Tarot, this is the factor, infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here with my little Tibetan prayer wheel right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and to give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading, okay? If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments below the video, all right? Now, as we look around the room, we see 1, 2 majors, Temperance and the Devil. Got to stay locked in, but we need some kind of a balanced energy. We need compromise, cooperation. We need strategy. I feel like this is you getting into the pressure cooker. It's going to be a pressure cooker of a week, but it's going to be really successful and really productive. Okay? So we have 2 majors. We've got fire, 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 a little bit of water, not very much water, right? We've got air, and then of course we have our pentacles here, okay? Let's start with the Temperance card, shall we, Taurus? Because this is balance and moderation. This is kind of like saying if we're gonna go pedal to the metal, we have to also be able to sustain that. So it's like you're going to have to eat you're going to have to eat the protein bars or whatever like to keep you going, you know. You're going to have to make sure that you got the coffee on supply or the kombucha or whatever you need to sort of energize, yeah. So I think that it's not so much avoiding extremes, but it's knowing how we can maintain or regulate our energy to be as consistent as possible. So it's not necessarily saying we just got to go as fast as we can, because at really high speeds, things break down. They lose their integrity. Quality sucks. We make mistakes, you know, and it's not, in the end, it's not the better choice. So it's not necessarily going as fast as you can, but how fast can you go while still maintaining a level of quality? Okay. There is kind of a healing energy about this card too. I kind of feel that this has to be something that is going to allow us to continue going at a rapid pace this week as things get busier. How do you maintain that? It's kind of like you have to change the oil in the car more regularly if you're putting a lot of miles on. If you're driving faster, you're putting more miles on. It means you're going to have to change the oil more frequently. They say it's like 3,000 miles or 3 months. I've never had to wait 3 months to change my oil in any of my cars. I used to drive for a living, right? And so, I'd put a lot of miles on my car. I'd be getting an oil change every other week. My mechanic was saying, what the heck are you doing? So, if we want to maintain that kind of pace, we've got to make sure that we take care of ourselves too. And I feel that this is going to be a really banger of a week, and then it's going to slow down. It's not sustained, permanent rush now forever. This is going to be a very quick week, it's going to go by fast, but it's going to be a lot of responsibilities, a lot of activities, I feel like it's a lot of business. I don't know what you're doing, but I feel like there's a lot of people around. This is not so much avoiding the extremes, but knowing where the sweet spot is. It's not just go as fast as you can, or you're going to just be lazy and not do anything. Now, where's the sweet spot between like efficiency and speed? When you're driving your car, it's like right around 55 miles an hour is the perfect balance between speed and efficiency. Okay, so you got to know where that is for you. Okay, you're not an automobile, I don't think. So where is that sweet spot? How far can you push yourself? How fast can you go while still maintaining the standard of quality that you're striving for? Okay. And this is also kind of a card that's saying, be patient as much as you can, because when things are happening very fast around you and there's a lot of responsibilities and, you're expected to be in 10 places at once, it's going to be tempting to sort of rush through each task. It's going to be tempting to just kind of take shortcuts, let's say. So you're being patient. You're in a hurry, but you're still trying to calm down and do the best job you can, and then quickly transition to the next thing. Or if you're multitasking, especially, make sure that the multitasking doesn't compromise quality or lead to you making mistakes, because then all that speed was for nothing, because you're going to have to go and fix some of those mistakes. Okay? So it's definitely a week for compromise and for cooperation. I feel like you've got to get everybody in your life on board right now, and everybody needs to be set up everybody needs to know what they're doing, basically, right? So that everybody can, everybody can know what they're supposed to be doing and can do it efficiently. Because I don't think you have the time this week to be micromanaging everybody. The King of Wands is, to me, a cruise control type of card, right? Which is like we found that sweet spot where we can go as fast as we possibly can while still maintaining a level of quality. And the King of Wands is also a very kind of inspiring card. This is the person that has the vision. Okay, I think that this is you seeing the bigger picture, so like this is a really big push, this is a big rush of a week. There's a reason for it, You can see the bigger picture. You can see that this is a week that maybe it's like, you're going to really make up for a slow week that you had, recently, or something along those lines, right? This is kind of, maybe it's a week where you can gain a lot of ground that maybe you missed in the weeks or months past. It's also a card of leadership. I think that you need to be able to inspire others with your passion and with your clarity and with your ability to jump into the pressure cooker. To me, the Temperance card is like we're a piece of metal that's being tempered. We're in the furnace. We're in the pressure cooker. And so your willingness to go into the pressure cooker and be right there on the front line is inspiring everybody else in your life to do the same. And that's going to be really important because people are going to notice if you kind of shy away and if you take shortcuts, or if you like go hide in the back room or something, or go hide in the walk-in freezer. And everybody else is going to think that, okay, they don't have to perform very well either. So I feel like you're kind of right out in front doing the things to show everybody like how it's done, you know. People, you're guiding other people. And I think you're guiding some project, or maybe it's a family thing. Maybe this is work at home, at school. Maybe it's in your job, your employment, or your business that you run. Maybe it's just a week where there are a lot of errands or a lot of activities. If you hold it together and you maintain your efficient but very alert sort of energy, everybody that's with you is going to do the same, okay? And so I feel like you are inspiring other people. Your success in this week feels like it is really sort of pivotal to your long-term success. Like this is the week that really is going to set the tone, or set the standard, or like bring in like the money or something, or the success that's going to be very crucial to the long-term, you know, picture, long-term vision. All right. Anyway, you do have a lot of court cards. Anytime we see this many court cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 court, half the reading is court cards. To me, it says, yeah, there's a lot of people around you. That's part of this sort of crowded, it's a very crowded reading, right, with all these people. The groundhog spirit, time to let go, it might really be saying like, now's not a time to hold grudges, now's not a time to hold on to things that are not part of your efficiency. And so, you know, you're in the car, you might have to let go a lot of stuff that's in the car that's just weighing it down. It's really going to affect your gas mileage. You know, when your car is loaded up with all this extra weight, stuff you don't need, Groundhog says it's time to let go. It's kind of like we're trying to travel light right now. And time to let go for the Groundhog and for you, Taurus, might also be, don't worry so much about the little things that people are doing or not doing. As long as they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, you can forgive and forget and just ignore all the other things. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to just let some of the little stuff go, as long as it's not affecting the mission of the week, whatever that might be, okay? You have a Knight of Swords underneath the surface here. This is really fast movement and bold action. And you're leading the charge. You're right out in front here. You have a determination. I feel like you have a plan. I feel like you're the one responsible for making sure that everybody is charging in the right direction. Okay? So this is very quick decisions. Okay? We need to avoid conflict. We have to avoid rushing to any kind of decisions or judgments that might not really be effective right now, or might not really be necessary. It's just like now's not the time to bring up certain things because we're just trying to get all this work done. You know, so don't let your communication derail all of this sort of teamwork progress that we're sort of seeing right now, Taurus, okay? Channel your energy and the energy of those around you into those meaningful pursuits and whatever the goals are right now. Maybe this is at school, maybe this is a big group sort of project that you're working on. Maybe it's at the business. Maybe it's just something is going, maybe it's just a lot of customers. This is like a very busy week at the store or whatever. But being in the front and being the leader and being the one to sort of set the pace, it's like you're the pace car, you know, that is really going to lead to a long-term success. I feel like you're setting the bar or something like that, you know. It feels really, really good. You've got another Knight, a Knight of Pentacles. You have the Devil card too. I feel like there's a strong Capricorn energy. Some of you may have a strong Capricorn placement, or there may be a Capricorn person very close to you. I would watch the Capricorn reading if I were you. The Knight of Pentacles is a card usually of slow and steady effort, right? Just kind of plodding along. Each step is very deliberate, and there's patience, and we're being very responsible, we're building very carefully, and at the same time we're rushing forward really, really fast, right? So I feel like this is the usual. This is you in that very steady and consistent, footsteps going forward, very practical, grounded, and it's the persistence that's bringing the success, not the speed. I feel like right now, though, it's kind of in that time where Spirit's saying, step on the gas a little bit. Okay? Then I think really what's happening is that we're going to return to this slow, steady pace. Okay? So this is the norm. This is the normal kind of thing. We're building very carefully. We're paying attention. You have discipline, and you kind of have that long-term vision. This is the Knight of Pentacles, right? It's looking at the future and seeing the success, seeing the best life, seeing the 10 of Pentacles, the Emerald City, the big rock candy mountain, seeing the good life out there, the result. Having that vision of the future. And it's saying, okay, I see the path, how to get there. Some parts of the journey are just going to be just very boring, very just slow and monotonous. It's just like, slow and steady is going to win the race. Other terrain, other moments on this journey are going to require that we hustle. Okay? It's not just all we're on the Oregon Trail and we're just like slow and steady and it's just, kind of waiting it out and just, some days are going to be like everybody needs to kind of hike up their skirt and run, take the shoes off and just sprint. Yeah. This is a sprint week. Okay. This is a sprint week. And that's okay. And I think you understand that with the Eight of Wands especially, the energy is going to develop very, very fast. It's going to be a huge burst of energy. It's going to be a sprint, and then it's going to be back down to a stable pace. Okay? Groundhog spirit, I think, the groundhog knows that at a certain time of year, you got to hustle. You got to get those, I don't know, whatever a groundhog does. You got to get the nest built or something. Usually, most of the year is rather leisurely. But some parts of the year, the groundhog says, okay, I've got to hustle. Okay? And maybe the groundhog sort of letting go of the shadow a little bit is kind of saying like, right now is not really a time to sit and contemplate or to worry too much about the means. And in a way it's kind of like the end will justify the means right now, a little bit. Okay? You'll have to excuse me if I hit the cough button every now and again. Still dealing with this chest cold and the cough and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, you got the Eight of Wands here. And this is a very fast-moving energy. It's a burst, okay? It's a moment of sprinting. And the thing I like about the Eight of Wands is that all the javelins are going in the same direction. So to me, it feels like we're all going super fast, but we're all doing it in harmony. It's not scattered energy all over the place that's just going to be nonsense, pandemonium, chaos. No. It's all focused and directed energy. All of the whole team, the whole squad is going after the same target. So it's like everybody has their own job to do. Everybody knows where they're supposed to be and what their role is. It's synchronized. It's synchronized. It's like the Blue Angels or something. Remember the Blue Angels? I don't know if they're still around, but it's that synchronized high-speed kind of week right now. This is momentum and movement being highlighted. So a lot of messages coming in. It may be that your email box is just filling up. Like there's requests from customers, there's quotes, there's messages from other teams or whatever. It may also be a week of a lot of travel. In other words, there's a lot of errands that we have to run, a lot of places we have to be. Kind of like you got to be in 2 places at once, which isn't possible, right? Maybe it's theoretically possible, but in practice, it's quite difficult. This is rapid progress, though. I feel like you have a real opportunity that if you utilize this time and you push as hard as you efficiently can with still very high quality, you can get a lot done. And it's like a lot of progress can be made. So try to say yes to as many things as you can. and try to figure out how you're going to balance it all out. It's like your calendar is going to fill up quick. And you might have to rearrange some stuff to make a little bit of room to squeeze something else in there. You know, trust your instincts. No hesitation. Okay? Your actions now are gonna have very good outcomes. So do as many things as you can, and you'll get a lot of good outcomes. I feel like this is going to be the biggest win week of your life. Okay, we got to stay open. We've got to stay adaptable. We've got to be a little bit flexible here. So it's kind of like, you know, you can't. You're not necessarily going to say, "Oh, I don't have room to do another side job here because my day's already filled up." What you can do is, well, I can push this customer to the next day, and I can put this customer in the morning, and then, oh yeah, don't worry, I can fit you in this afternoon. No worries at all, right? And we don't want to live that way forever. An 8 of Wands forever would be just awful, right? So I feel like what it's leading to is a lot more freedom for you. I feel like this is a big push, and then you're going to get some downtime. Okay, the Page of Cups is a card of innocence and curiosity and playful feelings. You know, and this may be, you know, for some of you, it may really be that there's a kind of a love relationship that seems to be progressing very quickly for you, okay? This may be some unexpected messages of love or even inspiration. It could be, some of this energy could be mostly like a fiery, creative sort of surge of that energy. So a week where you feel the inspirations are just coming nonstop, and you're going to paint like 100 pictures this week. You know, and it's so it's just this kind of burst of creative energy that is going to lead to just a lot of stuff getting made. I don't know if you're an artist, if you're a painter, if you're a musician. This is where like ideas are coming like this, one after the other. You know, it's full of inspiration, and it's going to be sort of your impulse, your instinct, to try to get all of those creative ideas on canvas, or get them all recorded, you know, as demos or something. You know what I mean? Get some of those songs down. Like, don't lose those ideas. Don't lose those inspirations. Okay? And so for some of you, it's going to be literally just like busy week at work. For some of you, it's going to be that busy social week. For some of you, it's going to be the busy creative week, where all of those ideas are happening. Now, this is the card of daydreaming and imagination and the fish in the percolator. If we're so busy, we're not going to see the fish in the percolator. We're not going to see the signs, symbols, and synchronicities of the world around us. So as busy as this week gets, carve out a little bit of time where you can just dream, where you can daydream. A little bit of time where you can just appreciate the magic in the mundane and the extra in the ordinary, you know? Give yourself a little bit of time to just feel your feelings, okay? And I think, in a way, know that what you're doing is you're busy right now because you're trying to create a little bit more ease and a little bit more flow in your life, okay? It could be that you're trying to hurry up and get all this stuff done this week because next week is going to be all you. It's going to be all emotion. It's going to be all like love and relaxation and restoration. Maybe you're planning something next week and you're saying, I'm just going to get as much of my work done this week as I can, so I have some free time next week where I can just love or dream or daydream or fantasize or go explore some new place, or, you know what I mean? Allowing your heart to sort of have its time, okay? But I think it's very important that we, in all of this rushing energy of this week, that you do allow yourself a little bit of time to just relax, to play, to feel good, to explore something new, or even to just unwind with some reality TV, or just, you know, something that just kind of feels good, okay? Because that's going to help sustain this high level of effort anyway. And that's part of our temperance card that we have as well. So I think that's going to be a really critical card here for you, So not only for this week, in order to maintain the kind of balance that we need in order to sustain this high level of activity, but also, we're doing all this work now so that later we can have a little bit of time off, a little bit of time to rest, okay? Now we have a Six of Swords as well, and this is transition, this is movement, and this maybe is us letting go, groundhog spirit, letting go of stress, letting go of struggle. So it's not about us being, let's say, I don't know, maybe the Eight of Wands is your boss wants you to work double shifts, or you realize you got to work the weekends now, or it's just like you got 2 jobs or something, or whatever. Your schedule is way too busy this week. This card is saying that rather than getting mad or upset or stressed out, frantic, pulling our hair out and rending our clothes, rather than getting all worked up over it, we're just saying, okay, I got to make a plan, I'm choosing to be at peace with this situation. I'm choosing to be calm in this reality and just have a strategy and have a plan and sort of try to be organized, keep the schedule, use your calendar, use your reminders on your phone, try to be as organized as possible. It's another card that is suggesting travel. I think a lot of you is going to be a busy traveling around this week. I don't know what that's for. But another emphasis on that sort of energy. It could also be that, in all of this busyness, make sure that you periodically give yourself a change of scenery. If this is all busyness that you're just outdoors all week, make some intentional time to go indoors and vice versa. I started watching that show Alone on Netflix. It's the Australian version of Alone where they're in Tasmania. I love that show. And I was thinking these people have been out there for 30 days now, right? I'm not going to tell you who wins. I don't know. I think it's an old show. I don't know. But they've been out in Tasmania in the wilderness by themselves. They had to build a shelter and find food and water and make fire and all that good stuff. And I'm just thinking of how cool that would be. But I think after a while, to just be looking around and see the same scenery day after day after day, and it literally isn't really changing for them, that everything is exactly the same. That's got to be a difficult aspect of it. So it's not even really about being so hungry or cold or alone. It's just literally waking up and it's just it's the same exact day again. It's the same color, the same trees, the same everything. And this card is saying sometimes we just need a change of scenery. Sometimes a way to refresh ourselves is to just look at something else. Because it's whatever's around you visually gets sort of imprinted on your brain. And then when you close your eyes, you're still seeing the same trees, the same vertical lines, and the same negative and positive light dynamics from the water and the sky and and so it's the same pattern really. And that I think is probably very difficult mentally. This card is changing the scenery for the sake of our own mental health. Yeah. So that's part of this energy too. And of course it connects with our groundhog spirit, letting go. Right? Time to let go of things that cannot be changed. So it's acceptance of the reality of the situation, not lamenting against it. Groundhog, time to let go. It's time to do groundhog stuff. It's time to do whatever work. I don't know what groundhogs do. It's time to do the work of the groundhog right now. And it's just that sort of acceptance, releasing things that we cannot change. And also knowing that the hectic, busy, chaotic energy now is leading to calmer waters. Okay? And I think that's part of that kind of hopefulness thing. Look, I'm just gonna do what I gotta do this week, because I know that it's gonna bring me some ease and some flow later, and I'm okay with that. Right? Like I said at the beginning with the King of Wands, you have that vision. You know why you're doing all this. Four of Pentacles, security, stability, safety. Okay? So I think, first of all, you're doing something now that's going to, for a lot of you, it's gonna guarantee some financial stability So they're kind of, it's like the groundhog is like gathering a bunch of food really, really fast. Well, good, because that food then is going to feed that groundhog all winter, you know? So I feel like it's kind of that sort of week where we're just trying to build up our stockpile of something. We're just trying to build up some resources. I can make some extra money this week. I'm going to bust it out, and I'm going to save that money for the rainy day. Or save that money so that next week or next month or for the holidays, I can just chill, you know, relax. This is also a card of staying in the rhythm and staying in the routine. So when you're in this hectic, busy week, make a system and get a rhythm going, get a flow, get some harmony, you know? And that's part of our Six of Swords too, because like I said, this is the plan. This is like having some kind of a, give everybody a job to do and make sure everybody knows where they're supposed to be and when, make a system and keep that system going, because that's going to create rhythm. And now it's just like the engine is running at such, the engine's purring. Everything is functioning. I feel like it's kind of like an episode of The Bear. You watch that show, The Bear? Such a good show. And it's that hectic, chaotic energy. But there's a rhythm, there's a flow. They're banging out the dishes, they're turning the tables. It's just perfect. It's just running the way it's supposed to. Very high pace, very fast paced. But there's a rhythm to it. Okay, high RPMs, but all the cylinders are firing just right. This is also a card of boundaries and a card of stability. It's a card of protecting something. And I think that this is going to be, I feel like this is a week where you're sort of very rapidly preparing for something. You know, it's like building up a foundation or shoring something up or stockpiling like money or like food or something, you know what I mean? For what we're anticipating later on. Yeah. It's a very good card also for self-care. Okay, for getting in touch with your body and knowing what your body is telling you. Your body will tell you if you're going too fast. Yeah. So I think what you're doing also with this very hectic energy is you're creating more long-term security for yourself. So there is this kind of building up or this safety that you're creating. So you're building that kind of more long-term stability into your life, okay? We've got a Queen of Wands here as well, which, you know, Queen of Wands, creative, charismatic, a very good leader, leads by example, but could sometimes expect other people to be just as powerful as you. So be careful with that, right? Be compassionate, be warm, let it go. If people can't perform to the high level that you can, be okay with that to some degree. It doesn't mean you're tolerating laziness or anything like that. But you're being compassionate, you're being understanding. Okay? You're in a superpower mode right now. Not everybody has what you have. So you may have those creative ideas coming like this. You may have all this energy and this burst of energy, but not everybody will. Okay? So you've got to be a leader that is compassionate. You've got to be courageous. You've got to inspire others. Okay? But know that they're probably not going to match your energy, and I don't think they're going to exceed your energy. Okay? I feel like a lot of you here are really stepping into the spotlight. I feel like this is the moment where you could really make a lot of progress toward your goals. And I feel like you are going to get some kind of recognition for that. Okay, I feel like you are definitely being seen. And this card's also about balancing your ambition with your compassion for those that you're working with. Okay, so you have this ambition, you want everybody to hurry up, go faster, 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 faster. But you have to also know that, hey, go take a break, take the day off, you know. Give yourself that kindness too. So I feel like you really expect a high level of commitment, a high level of activity, and, very fast pace. But you also are willing to give people, the rest and the rewards that they need, because I feel like that helps to make them want to work for you or with you, So I feel like you're a very good leader right now, and I think that I think people feel like they're treated very well by you, and they want to keep doing a good job for you. Okay, so maintain that balance. Now, the Devil card. This is the engine of the car, okay? And we have to know what the right optimum sort of, function is for that engine. We don't want it to go too fast or too slow. We don't want to break anything. And so, that to me feels like the motivation. It is your creative drive. It's also your pleasure drive and your sovereign drive. So I feel like there really is a heightened sense of what you're creating. Like, what is all of your ambition for? What are you building in your life? What are you generating? Are you generating wealth? Maybe your business, you're generating a living for other people. All your employees, they're making a living because of this, right? Maybe you're generating long-term wealth. Maybe you're generating stability. Maybe you're literally generating like art and beauty. You're painting picture after picture, just coming fast, or you're writing songs, and this is just a really creative time where you're going to write like 20 songs, okay? And so I think that there's a heightened awareness of what you're creating, and there is a heightened sense of it feels good to be that creative and to have things go this quickly. Maybe the Knight of Pentacles, that slow, steady pace was, well, it was more gentle on your body and soul, but it wasn't as rewarding. So maybe now we're really excited to have this fast pace or all these opportunities coming in, because now it just feels like it feels good to be this productive and this creative, And I feel like with the sovereign drive, I feel as if like it feels good, especially for the Queen of Wands, it feels good just to be doing the thing. Feels good to be like breaking a sweat, to be like working hard. It feels good to go home tired, to where you just take a shower, you get in bed, and you sleep like a baby. We have a very productive day, and I feel like we feel like we've earned the rest. We've earned the delicious meal at the end of the day. We've earned the self-care and the pampering, and we've earned the bubble bath. So it's very important that you allow yourself that sort of luxury as well. Kind of a work hard, play hard kind of thing. Okay. With the Devil card, I think too, we need to remember that this is voluntary in a way, that we don't need an excuse to rest. We don't need to wait until we've accomplished something specific before we can get a day off or before we can take a break. And make sure we don't treat other people that way either. The Devil card's kind of reminding us that, like, if you're tired, take a break. If you're hungry, eat something. You don't have to wait until the schedule of time, or you don't have to wait until, well, it's only after you ship 20 units, then you can take a break. You say, no, I'm taking a break now. Give yourself a little bit of that kind of flexibility, but within reason. Because if you're in charge or you're the boss, like, you've got to make sure that things still are productive and efficient. Okay, but we don't have to be so rigid with the sort of transactional thing. It's like, yeah, you can rest, but only after you process, 100 things or whatever it is. Let's look at our mystery card, Taurus, and see what we are creating. I expect this to be like a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles. It might be a 6 of something too, showing that sort of harmonious teamwork. It might be a card of letting go. Let's see what we have. No, it's a 2 of Cups. It's definitely not a card of letting go. It's a card of love, right? It's a card of connection. It's a card of really caring about each other to the point where we want each other to succeed. Like, I feel like in your life, the way you interact with people, it's like they want you to do a good job. Like, they want to work for you. Like, if you're a boss, this is like your employees love you, and they want you to be successful. They want to go to work and do a good job so that you can be successful, I feel like this is either your friends, this is your family, your coworkers, it may be a romantic partner, but you have such a relationship with those people, with all those people, friends, family, coworkers, lovers, everybody. You have that kind of relationship where people feel inspired by you and people feel so connected to you that there is a kind of a shared strength or even a shared inspiration. Yeah. I think this is you giving and receiving in equal measure. The people that that support you, they feel like you care about them too. And I think you genuinely do, you know? And this isn't just about you having a lot of people around you. I do feel with all of these court cards that there is some group of people, whether it's your customer or your audience or your coworkers or your friends or your family. Let's say it's just your audience or your customers. They feel a genuineness. Like if you're dealing with a customer, that customer feels like they're the only person that matters to you. Like you have a way of making everybody feel special. Yeah. This is also a card that's saying we're choosing love and connection. We're letting go, the groundhog spirit. Time to let go of anything that may be causing conflict or misunderstanding, or that may be leading to a divide or a separation. We're choosing unity. We're choosing to let go of the stuff that doesn't really matter, and instead we're choosing unity. We're choosing cooperation. We're choosing trust, which means we let go of those little things, those little arguments, those little grudges. We let go of our anger. We let go of our frustration. We're choosing to be together. We're choosing to be a team. Choosing love. Now this is self-love and divine love, romantic love and platonic love. Okay, so I don't want all those comments that say, well, I'm not in a relationship, or I don't have a team around me. Well, you could be a team of one. It could be just two. It could be you and spirit, you and your cat. It doesn't matter. The idea here is that we're choosing love and acceptance because that's going to motivate us to continue to do a good job. Right now, love is going to create more cooperation. So if you are a leader or a boss, you're going to be one that's going to motivate people to work hard through love and kindness and compassion rather than through like being very strict, you know? You attract more bees with honey or vinegar, I don't know, whatever the saying is. Love is the way to go. Love is how you're going to get through this very, very busy week and get to all the good stuff that's going to be resulting from that hard work and this big push, this big rush energy. All right. Anyway, Taurus, click on the join button right here so you can watch the extended reading. I thank you, I love you, and we're all in this together.